Right guys, before we start this video, I just want to announce that these hats are now on sale in the store. We also have another little product for you, and hopefully it's going to be a little product that you like the look of and make a purchase. All links are in the description, and yeah, let's get this video started. So yeah, this is a video that you've all been asking for. In multiple videos I've been asked the same question. How much has it cost me to build? So what we're going to do in this video is go over each and every part that we've purchased for this bike. This doesn't include anything that didn't get fitted up to the bike in the end, like mishaps. You know, I've bought parts that I didn't end up fitting because they wouldn't fit and so on. I'm simply going off all the parts that I've used and are actually on the bike. You know, I've bought 2 tanks, but we're only going to put down 1. And you know, that sort of thing really, just keep it simple, give you kind of just a base guide. I'm probably going to say I forgot some things, and you know, this has been going on for a year and a half, so it's very difficult to go back over everything that I've bought, but at least we can get the main parts and kind of get the main gist of what this bike's cost me to build. And hopefully it will help you too in your builds, and you can hopefully learn from this, and you can either take this video and see it as, oh yes, this is going to be really expensive to build a bike, or not expensive. I don't know, I haven't worked it all out, but yeah, so yeah, let's just get into it and see what we've actually spent on this bike. So here in the top left corner, I'm going to put a little cost count of all the parts, so you can see for the cost of the things that we've bought, just so you can keep an eye on it, and yeah, I'll total it all up at the end. So first of all, I'm going to include the actual price of the bike because I bought it on eBay, spares and repairs. See here how it looked when I first bought it, and yeah, I paid £350 for the bike. I went and collected it myself. I took it, dismantled it, put it in the boot of the car, and off we went, and this is how this build began. I'm just gonna, okay, before we get started, most of these things are all eBay purchases. About 95% are things I've bought off eBay. So I don't need to tell you where I got them from. You just need to have a look on eBay and search for yourself, find the bargains, and you'll be able to find these bargains hopefully for yourself. Now, the second thing would be the swing arm. The swing arm is a CB125 swing arm, 2008 I think, and I only paid £20 for it. That's fairly, and that's including postage, so I'm pretty proud of that. Obviously I've had to chop it up and buy the spindles and stuff extra, but so yeah, 20 quid for the swing arm, not bad. So next up is going to be the forks and the front wheel. This was again another bargain purchase off eBay, and I got that for £25. £25 for a pair of upside down forks and the front wheel with the disc. So again, keep your eyes out for these bargains because they're all over the place. So the chain, I actually spent about £50 on a chain because I actually had to buy 2 lengths to make up the chain we've got now, because obviously we've extended the swing arm, extended the wheelbase and so on. So yeah, 2 chains, £50. It is what it is. The stem bearings, okay, so the stem bearings cost £20. I had to buy all the front brake caliper and the everything parts that go along with that. That cost me £40 on top, so you know, overall we spent, how much we spent on the front end? £40, £50, 50, £75. Basically the whole front end's cost me 75 quid. That's not bad for an Aprilia RS125 front end. So you can see this far I've got the prices pretty decent. It's all little things, they all add up though, that's the main thing here. The rear wheel actually cost me £50. So, well, I did actually have to buy the front wheel as well as the rear wheel, and it cost me £100 altogether, but I only used the rear wheel and the front tyre. So I'm just going to call it £50 because I actually sold the front wheel, and yeah, we're not using that part on the bike. The seat hump, you may remember I actually bought a seat hump that didn't fit the bike, and I had to cut it up and make it fit. That cost me £40 again off eBay. It was just a fiberglass shell. Most of these things I'm going to link in the description for you to have a look at. They're in all the videos, you probably have seen them before, you've probably clicked on them before, but again, they're all there for you to have a look at. The air filter was £5, the ignition barrel and key, that was £5 as well. The headlight mount, that was £10, just a universal kit again. The rear wheel spindle, that cost me £25. The Speedo, the clock, the nice little Speedo that I've got, that cost me a tenner. It's just the simple little Speedo, but I thought for the money you can't really go wrong. Okay, the battery is just a rechargeable dry cell battery, and that again was £10. The rear brake setup, the caliper and all the brake pads and all the little things we bought, that all totaled up to £50 on the bike, which again isn't too bad. The Speedo drive, that cost 25 quid. The gear lever, that was only £8 for that, so again nice and cheap, nice little part. The brake reservoir, I bought a little brake reservoir for the thumb brake, and that was a £5. Going on to that, the thumb brake itself, that cost £300, almost as much as the bike. But as you know, it was as expensive as it was the most straightforward route, and I'm kind of glad that we did it because it works really, really well. Moving on from that, the actual the braided brake lines we've got, I had all those custom made for me, and again, for a custom part, the prices weren't that bad. So the brake lines cost me £40, including the hydraulic switch, that the thumb brake. The clutch cable, that was only £8. The rear tail lights, the rear LED strip light, that cost me £30, and that was from one of you guys. Thank you for that, and it's the best looking light by far, I feel, for this bike. I bought a complete throttle unit, that was £13. The kickstart lever, that was £20. Again, needed these things because it didn't come on the bike. But as you know, this bike was a spares or repairs, so a lot of these parts weren't there. They're either there or not there. Yeah. So the hand grips as well, they cost me £8 for the pair. The indicators, I bought multiple sets, but we're only going to be using the ones that we chose. Okay, yeah, they cost me £10 for the set of indicators. The CNC machine levers, which I think are a really nice looking set of levers, they cost me £30, but they've also got the built-in reservoir for the front brake and the switches as well. The horn, that's a 6-volt horn, and it cost me £6. For the wiring now, this is going to be a bit more complex because there's so many different things. Like you've got the wires itself, the plugs, the bullet connectors, the spade connectors, all the bulbs that we used, even like the wrap that we used to hide it all together, and the heat shrink. I'm just going to put that under one umbrella and say that cost £100 altogether to make. As I say, it's not that much when you think we've made a full custom loom for that. But yeah, that was quite that's kind of one of the larger spends, but in my eyes it was worth it. The petrol cap, I bought a locking petrol cap with a key. That cost me £12. The bar end mirrors that we fitted in the last video, they cost me £9, which again is a good price for such a thing that you're going to use so much on a bike. The exhaust, again, the last video we fitted that exhaust. That cost me £35 for the tip. So glad that we ended up fitting that exhaust because it runs so sweet now. Speaking of that, the bike is not running. The reason we're not riding it in this video, and that is because I'm having some issues with the wiring. I wired up the regulator wrong and it's blown all the bulbs, so I've got to get that fixed before I can ride it. The engine dress-up kit, that was £15. Again, you saw how much of a difference that made. I didn't need it, but it just made sense to spend that £15 to make it look nice and look new and fresh, you know, because it's a 41-year-old bike. All the other nuts and bolts that we used that I got changed up and down the frame, like the engine mount bolts and so on, together came to about another £15 on top. And again, that's all I did was go to a local hardware shop, take all my bolts and say, I need these replacing, can you replace them for me? And then I came back a few days later, they had them all bagged up for me. And yeah, that's how I managed to get all the new nuts and bolts for my bike. The heat wrap as well, that cost me about £8 for a big 10-metre roll of it, and I've still got plenty of it left. Okay, for the number plate bracket and the number plate itself, that cost £25 altogether. Again, these are things that I needed for the bike. Moving on to the hand controls, they cost £10 for a pair. Again, just universal fit, nice and easy, got all the buttons that we needed, plus the few more that we had extra on there, which some of you got confused about. This bike has not got an electric start, by the way, it's just got the button for it. And now one of the bigger parts on the bike, and that's going to be the tank. The tank that I actually have on the bike now and we had painted, I bought that off eBay and that cost me £65. The only reason I spent that money is because it was clean inside, like really clean, no rust coming through, and I just thought Even though I did all the repairs on the other one, this one is in far much better condition. I didn't have to seal it or anything, and we've had no issues yet, so I'm happy with that purchase. Now moving on from the tank, the actual paint for the tank and the hump that we had painted. Fortunately, my best friend is a painter and he did it all for me. All I had to do was actually buy the paint and pay for the paint, and that cost me £10 for the tin. So I'm going to add that in. I can't add in paint cost for the actual bike because I didn't actually spend any money painting, but that's going to be something that's going to be down to you. The foot pegs, they cost me £5, nice and simple. Some of you have moaned about them because they're cheap. They've been holding up fine so far, so I'm happy with them. And last but not least is going to be the powder coating. We had the swing arm powder coated, the frame, and some brackets and little things like that. All of that came to £100. Again, I feel that's a really, really good price for something that has such a big dramatic change on the bike and makes everything look so new. That's basically everything. I'm going to put £50 up now there as well for miscellaneous items, and that's going to be things that I may have forgotten and bulbs that I've changed and switched around and stuff like that. The little things that kind of tie it all together, primers, you know, all that sort of stuff. So that's going to be everything on the list, and now I actually have to go through the list, work it all out, and we can see what it actually totaled up to. Over the whole build, I've had a kind of like rough idea in my head what it might have cost to build, but I've never really like sat down and worked it all out, so this is going to be new to me as well. So yeah, let me work it all out. Ooh, guys, a little bit more than I expected, but at the same time, it's kind of a decent price. £1,714. My little CB125 project, including buying the bike itself, has cost me £1,714. And to me, that bike is priceless. I kind of thought it would be about £1,300, so I'm a little bit over my estimation, but still, for a bike that it is, for that type of bike, and for a one-off, custom, built from scratch bike, it's not bad. So yeah, leave a comment down below. What did you think to the price? Do you think it's worth it? Do you think I've spent too much? Do you think I've spent not enough? Let me know down below. I'd like to hear your thoughts. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully we'll be doing some more videos very similar like this. If you could leave a like on the video, that would be great. If you want to subscribe to the channel, if you want to see more, go for it. And yeah, I shall see you in the next one. Peace. I'm wearing my P&Co clothing, obviously. Obviously. Oh, yeah. I think that's what you call a fajita wrap.